Bonjour à tous, mesdames et messieurs. Merci de nous rejoindre en salle plénière. Après la pause café, nous allons pouvoir reprendre les travaux.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming back. We're about to get into business. We thank you all here in the hall, and we also thank those who are following online on the event Blue Invest Africa going on at the Hotel de Février here in Lomé, Togo. We will kindly request you to take your seat. Friends from the press and the various candidates, make sure you get seated. Shortly, we're about to start.
Gentlemen, wherever you are, we would like you to come back to your seat. We're about to begin. And this is the reason why we came here. This is why you left Europe. This is why you left Africa to come to West Africa. So wherever you are, kindly take your seat. Those outside, those at the back. I think the networking, we can continue at lunchtime. So you have just 60 seconds to find your way to your seat. And the time starts now.
N'hésitez pas surtout à occuper les
Do not hesitate to take the front seats because our officials have left. We're now moving to the pitch project. Thank you for being with us. Make sure you have your headset for translations if need be. We thank you all, and we're about to install members of the jury of the first panel. The candidates knows their numbers, and they know the order in which they will come. 4 minutes per candidate. We will invite the audience to keep calm, and which will help us to follow and listen to the candidate about the relevancy of the project. Thank you for assisting us up to then. Let's call or remind you about the various protocol. Our telephones on the silent mode. I have the pleasure to introduce the members of the panel. One is still not yet around. I have three of them. Mr. Andre from Indico Capital. Good morning and welcome. How do you feel for the starting of this pitch project?
All the opportunities that are going to come, as the impact in the blue economy in Africa could be tremendous.
Good. We are also happy to have you with us. Laure de Expertise France, bonjour.
Madame Laure, Expertise France, your impression before we start? Positive, dynamic, and full of interest. So we are all going to listen to you, and everything will be very wonderful. The third member of this section, and I will invite him to come and join us, European Investment Bank. So the members of the panel, so make sure you're set.
There's an empty seat in front of you. Kindly fill the seat for us. Kindly do so right now. If there's an empty seat in front of you, kindly move forward. You have just 60 seconds to do so. And the time starts now. Kindly move
Merci beaucoup.
forward.
Merci d'avancer, de vous rapprocher et occuper donc les sièges de devant. Nous rappelons que nous sommes suivis en direct sur le site internet de Blue.
We remind that we are being followed on the internet website of Blue Invest Africa going on here in Lomé at the Hotel de Février. So all is going on the various platform of European Union here in Togo. Thank you very much. And for this first stage, we have 3 or 4 candidates, and they know the way they will come for their presentation. The members of the panel are ready to listen to them. The good stories of our entrepreneurs coming from different countries, Ghana, Kenya, just to mention a few.
23 pictures from across all Africa, as far as Madagascar, Tunisia, Kenya, Tanzania, Ghana, Nigeria, and of course, Togo. So today we are really, really excited and poised to deliver. Are we ready for them? No.
Are they ready?
The energy is
Is
so
Kenya in
low.
the house? Kenya. Welcome to Togo. Then we have Ghana. Yeah. I know the saying in Ghana, Etise. Good. Very, very good. Then we have Togo, of course. And you mentioned Madagascar. Thank you. Oh, she's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready? Divine, for you for the first picture.
Okay, so before I introduce the first picture, I want you to note a few things. So after every pitching session, there will be a QR code projected on the screen over there, and that's the only time you're allowed to take your phone. So now you take your phone and you scan the QR code and you vote for your favorite picture. In case you need a Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi is Blue Invest, and the password is Blue Invest 2025. So ladies and gentlemen, are we ready? No, the energy is so fake. Are we ready? Are we ready? Good. So for our first pitching session, we're going to look at enabling aquaculture. So these entrepreneurs are the ones that are transforming from the sea to the market, and they are doing so well. So I think we'll have to do a standing ovation on behalf of all the pitchers. So we do once for all of them. So with a standing ovation, a high energy, and a round of applause, let's welcome our first pitcher from Kenya, Clinton Obura, with a standing ovation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Morning, everyone. My name is Clinton Obura. I'm founder and CEO of Summer King from Kenya. I was born in a small town called Mbita, next to Lake Victoria. So from a very early age, I saw a lot of fish. Fish was not just a means of sustenance, it was a way of life. I left Mbita, studied computer science in school, worked for over 10 years at global technology companies, and about 3 years ago, I decided to go back home. Why did I want to go back home? I wanted to work on a problem that was very close to my heart. About 40% of fish in East Africa is lost because of post-harvest losses, essentially because of a lack of cold chain infrastructure, as well as fragmented supply chains. But more interesting than that, in Kenya alone, there's a massive fish deficit of about 350,000 metric tons a year. To contextualize this, your average Kenyan eats about 4.7 kgs of fish a year. The average African eats 10 kgs. The average globally is 20. So we don't eat fish as much as we really should. But what are the issues? What is the problem with aquaculture in East Africa? We see a couple of structural problems. The first one is low quality inputs and poor management, which means that our farmers have low yields. The second one is limited cold chain infrastructure, which means we have high spoilage. The third one is inconsistent market linkages, which means our farmers can't sell consistently. And the last one is poor distribution, which essentially means that our urban consumers, which is the bulk of our consumers, are not able to access fish, or when they do access it, they don't access it at the right price. So what do we do at Summer King? We do two things really well. The first thing is help farmers improve their productivity. And how do we do that? We do that by giving them access to high quality inputs and also input financing as well as insurance, combined with training and extension services. The second thing we do very well as well is market access and distribution, where we have cold chain enabled aggregation to allow us to aggregate fish at scale from our fishers and do sales and distribution, primarily through two main channels, B2B, essentially selling to other businesses, as well as informal trade, selling to what we call mama samakis. So a bit about mama samakis. So mama samaki is a loosely translated in Swahili. That means fish lady. It's because most sales of fish in most of Africa is really female dominated. So 95% of them are women. What's been really interesting for us as an insight is these women are the backbone of fish distribution on the African continent. And we're building a platform to allow them not just to thrive and help us drive more fish consumption into the market. So what have we been up to so far? We have focused on market access and distribution. So this year to date, we have generated about $227,000 in revenue. And in our next phase of our business, we are really working to form closer partnerships with farmers to help them become more productive. We're raising $1 million in a mix of equity, grant, as well as working capital to help us unlock about $3.3 million in revenue next year, help us partner with another 5,000 informal market traders, and partner with another 2,000 farmers. So kindly join us on this journey. Our mission is simple: make fish the #1 protein on African plates while improving livelihoods for fish farmers and fisher folk. We have a strong team of 14 people with an average age of 26, so really young team working on this dream. Thank you very much. Asante sana. Merci beaucoup.
Hello. Thank you so much. That was a beautiful presentation. I would like to see the mama samakis one day.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so jury, over to you. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much for your very inspiring speech, and congratulations for all what you've done. So my first question will be related to your business viability. How do you foresee, and what is your main economic risk from your point of view?
Main economic risk?
Yes.
Okay. So we see a couple of things. I think the biggest one for me is affordability of the final product, right? Because we live in markets where there's not a lot of disposable income. People want to spend money more on their needs as opposed to their wants. So I think one critical thing for us is making sure that our supply chain is as efficient as possible to allow us to get the product as low as possible for the final consumer. And that is something you struggle with, especially before you reach the right scale. So a big priority for us is pushing volumes to reach the right scale, to bring prices down and make it more accessible. Yeah.
Which is, I think, my following question. Pardon. How about your unit economics? I mean,
Yeah.
I get that you need to get to scale. You have a complex cold value chain, which I'm curious to understand how that works.
Yeah.
And so, when are you going to make your break even in terms of unit costs?
Fantastic. I can just talk briefly about our business model. So we have different ways of making money. The primary way is through fish sales that go through our supply chain, our value chain. So we make basically commissions, gross profits of about 8 to 12% on the fish side. And now as we also work on the farmer side, improving farmer productivity, we're also making money on selling inputs to farmers as well, and also some of the financial products that we act as distributors. So things like insurance, input financing, we're able to make small margins on that as well. So our unit economics are positive, but I think, like I mentioned before, it's a volume game. So maybe the question is, at what volume do we need to push to be profitable? Based on our current financial projections of $3.3 million of revenue in 2026, we'll be able to achieve profitability by August of 2026. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And so, as you are talking about profitability,
Yeah.
about innovation, can your solution be scaled or adapted to other areas?
Yeah, fantastic question. So that's actually something we think about like quite a bit. How do we make our solution like more scalable? And actually to his point, for example, our cold chain infrastructure, the way we build it is that we build it in a modular fashion. So that essentially means that if we want to move our cold chain infrastructure to a new place, we can pack it up in like 2 days and move it to another place. So as much as possible, how do we build that scalability in our model? The second thing as well for us is partnerships, right? We cannot do it by ourselves. As you have seen, there's so many structural problems across the whole value chain. So instead of vertical integration, we call it vertical coordination. How do we bring all of the parts that are needed to make the value chain work? So for us, partnership is also quite central to that because it's not easy for us to do everything that needs to get done and to get solved. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, jury. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mama Samaki. That was a good pitch. Come on, you can do better. Let's give it up for him. Good, good. So, you know, last year, I was also a pitcher in Diani. And to be very honest, it's not easy standing here on stage to give a pitch. C'est difficile. C'est très difficile. So when they come here on stage, do your very best to motivate them by clapping. When you clap, you will not die, right? So clap for them. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page? Good. So next, we have a pitcher from Cameroon who has a very beautiful story to tell all of us here. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome here on stage, Divine Kobe.
Thank you. Can I start? Good morning, everyone. Imagine a crisis where not just in disasters, but daily, a region loses its vital protein source. That is the reality of fish, not just in Cameroon, but Africa at large, where over 30% of fish is lost to post-harvest losses. This leads to overfishing. I am Bangui Divine Kobe, promoter of Foodmark Engineering Limited, an enterprise in Cameroon that conceives solar-powered digital machines or dryers for fish. With a master's degree and over 10 years of practical experience in renewable energy and agricultural machinery automation engineering, I realized that drying is the most effective method of post-harvest preservation compared to cooling in terms of energy saving, duration of storage, but the dryers are absent. We solve this problem using artificial intelligence and Internet of Things to control important drying parameters, including temperature, to produce good quality dried products. Now, the local drying methods, they do not just produce poor quality dried fish with destroyed nutritional value, odors, molds, and destroyed nutritional value, but they also cause massive deforestation of wood for drying, which goes a long way to affect marine and aquatic species. We provide artificial intelligence to solve these problems. The users of our technology, they are able to receive SMS alerts, which permits them to monitor and control their dryers from distance. We power our dryers using customized, portable, made in Cameroon by us, solar generators, which permit the dryers to be used in both rural and urban areas with insufficient or no electricity, which is usually the situation in over 80% of even Cameroonian urban areas. This goes a long way to promote environmental sustainability, renewable energy adoption, while mitigating climate change. We sell to individuals, households, farmers in fishing, and also organizations. But before last year, we realized that unlike organizations and enterprises that are willing to pay up to 40,000 US dollars for our dryers. Households and individuals find it difficult to pay up to this amount, but they are willing to spend up to 10 US dollars to dry at a fee. So we started creating mini digital solar drying centers for fish. Our major breakthrough came in last year when we were able to secure partnership with an organization that inhabits 50 cooperatives with a demand of 100 dryers per year, making turnovers of 1 million euros per year. But we are limited in production capacity to meet the total huge demand of 4 million euros per year. We were able to make $583,000 last year. We are inviting equity, loan, credit, and also grant investors to invest in our business so that we can be able to boost our production capacity, making turnovers of at least 3 billion in the next 4 years, while creating thousands of jobs and promoting environmental sustainability in Africa at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Mesdames et messieurs les jurys, le candidat est...
Now the candidate is all yours now.
Great. So partnerships seems to be a big thing. Of course, the front loading of the financial part is a major barrier for scaling up. How are you scaling that distribution channels? How do you intend to get to those new clients? Seems to be a long selling process.
Okay, the first, we have been working for 4 years. Last year, we secured partnership with an organization called PATNUC. PATNUC, they have a yearly demand of at least 100 dryers from us for 1 million euros. We already have a signed contract for that. That's a yearly demand. We have 4 more organizations. These are organizations that inhabit at least 50 cooperatives of fish farmers. So we have a yearly demand, short demand of signed contracts of at least 4 million euros per year. And then secondly, we also power digital solar drying centers where households and individuals who are not able to pay a dryer, which ranges from 500 to over 40,000 US dollars, depending on the size. So households and individuals who cannot pay this amount, they come and dry in those centers for a fee. 2 centers are already operational at our region in Cameroon. We are hoping to create at least 50 more centers in Cameroon and then expanding to Central Africa in the next 3 years.
Okay, thank you very much. My question will be on the technology. Can you elaborate more on how do you build it, and do you import like parts from China, or how do you work with your technology? Is it all local? Yeah, and also on energy efficiency, how do you cope with all the emission that you may have? Thank you.
Okay, the first thing about the ecological aspect is that our dryers are powered by renewable energy, portable generators, solar generators made by us. These, the materials that we use, first, there is aluminum, which we use to build the dryers. It is made locally by a company in Cameroon that is called Alucam. They supply us locally. And then the solar generators, the challenge they have is that solar generators, they need a very high power to power devices. Therefore, the initial prices, they are very high. We had to work on that. And how did we do? We came up with a unique technology that it's the heat tube technology, which reduces consumption of the dryer by 60%, therefore permitting it to use very small solar generators to power the dryers. So that's the technology that we're able to develop in the years of working and experience in the domain.
Thank you very much, and thank you. Congratulations for using renewable energy, which is very interesting. In terms of, yes, ecological impact, which measure have you put in place to avoid contamination of the surroundings? And maybe last question about the job creation that you are contributing in your area, if you can talk about that. Thank you very much.
Okay, you said contamination of?
The environment.
Okay, of contamination of the environment. The first aspect, our dryers, we are solving the problem of deforestation of wood. Local dry methods, as I earlier said, they use wood. There is massive deforestation of wood to dry fish. We all know that in Africa. So we are solving this problem. We use solar generators to power the fish. So that's the first aspect. So we're promoting environmental sustainability and renewable energy adoption, which mitigates climate change. Yeah. And then the second aspect of the question, which has to do with job creation. Yeah, so first, currently we have 15 employees, which are permanent, and then 30 temporary employees in our business to produce machines. And then secondly, each drying center, the ones that serve individuals, they are operated by two personnel. So if we count to create 50 more centers by 3 years, it will take 50 centers by 2. We'll have at least 100, we'll employ at least 100 workers in the next 3 years. And these 50 centers will need to also produce dryers to supply them. So we need more technicians and workers in our workplace. So we need at least 50 more workers at our workplace. So we count to create employment of at least 300 to at least 300 Cameroonians and Africans in the next 3 years.
Okay, thank you. You have one more question?
We always have more questions. You referred AI. How are you using AI in terms of signaling, if I understood? So you're getting data from the consumption? Quick one on that, because I think we need to move forward.
Sorry, please.
You're using AI, that you said you were using an AI system to send messages, to a warning to customers. I want to understand which sort of data you're using on that.
What we do is that we have sensors that collect information on the fish. It's able to collect data on the temperature, the humidity, air circulation, and also the turning of the device. It is from this data that the system intelligently processes it through the microcontroller to be able to regulate the environment in the dryer, to be able to dry the product, eliminating mold, odors, and also destroyed nutritional value. Because at the end of drying the fish, if the nutritional value is destroyed, there will be no use. So that's where the artificial intelligence comes in. So we collect the environmental data in the dryer and then process it to get the optimum, because each species of fish has has specific temperature, humidity, and parameters that you have to use to dry it, preserving the nutritional value. So we use those parameters intelligently regulate based on the species of fish.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, judges. Thank you. Kobe Divine from Cameroon. Yes, please encourage him. So now tell me just, how do you feel now that you're done with your presentation? How do you feel? Still confident?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And never lose your confidence. Yeah, thank you once again. So before we continue, I would like to acknowledge our third judge. He just joined us on this session, Mr. Jesus from European Investment Bank. You're welcome. So after Kenya and Cameroon, let's come back to Togo, of course. Après le Cameroun et le Kenya, retour au Togo.
Back to Togo with the very first candidate from Togo. Not not easy. Thanks a lot. Come on stage for your presentation. Aquaponi from Togo. Thank you. Hello, I'm Dr. Ahama Boladi, co-founder and managing director of Aquaponi Togo. Why Aquaponi Togo? Because I saw those three faces. The look, the face of a mother who bought beautiful vegetables, but full of pesticides. Look at the face of a father who invested millions in tomato, but lost everything when there is no rain. The look at the face of an urban fish farmer forced to discharge his wastewater into the neighborhood and face complaints from his neighbors. Those looks prompted me to look for a solution. The solution, aquaponic taco. It's a circular technology where fish waste naturally fertilizes plants, which in turn purify the water for the fish. Result, zero pesticides, zero chemical fertilizers, 90% water savings. On just 40 square meter surface area, we already produce 500 kilo of premium tomatoes, which is more than double the yield of conventional farming without any water waste. Our ambition, we kindly request 500,000 euros to set up the very fast 3,000 square meter commercial farm capable of producing 20 tons of vegetable and 10 tons of fish per year, accessible to low-income families. Develop an aquaponic kit center for schools, families, and communities, and create a training center to train 1,000 students per year with technical certificate in aquaponic. Three-pronged project, premium production kits, and then certified training. Our market, West Africa, 450 million people, many people looking for jobs and sustainable technology. 50% live in cities. Our competitors here in Togo are serious in Cote d'Ivoire. They are focusing on their country, and we have a regional vision, and indeed they don't have that power. With my associate, Kokuvi, specialized in vegetal biotechnology, we're doing everything possible so that families have their fish farms in their homes. Our project is economically viable. We experimented and generated 1,060 euro using premium production system. With the expected expansion, we will produce 1,800 per annum, 150% growth. We have average margin of 65%, CAC of 51, CLV of 180, with a ratio of 1:8. It's very attractive. It's an opportunity because we have 50 million euro market, and then we will capture 1% when seeking 500,000 euros in grants, while also from investors, partners that will where they earn 15% of Aquaponi Togo shares. Come, because our project is a 3-point project: production, kids in schools and houses, and training that creates jobs. Yes, come. And sow the seeds for a greener agriculture for Africa. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Healthy eating. Now, you're there for the jury. Thanks for your very insightful presentation. Congratulations. for your journey. You referred to growth and very ambitious project. Now, could you please share with us the insurance or contracts that will allow you to raise that fund to invest in growth and your projects? As we speak, do you have customers that are ready to buy your product? Yes, as a matter of fact, well, I would not mention names. We have two major public institutions. They want to purchase our kits that we've displayed. Understand, sir? There are people across the country. We have customers that are ready to provide training. We want to eat bio products. Food prices are changing, and so many families are getting in touch with us. And so we have a wide range of customers. There is no problem because towards the end of this month we are launching a training, and about dozens of people are coming to us, and we are thinking of how to really bring them on board and provide training to them in Aquaponi, Togo. Thanks a lot, madam. That's quite an interesting presentation. Now, you're presenting the results as results from research. There is a major innovation component. Did you conduct a study to have an idea about the price of the kit for marketing? Second question, what's your comparative advantage with a farm, traditional farm, with fish ponds and vegetable farms next to it? Since 2023, we conducted research and studies and on local crops and its works. Technology, we see it in Europe, but we've been thinking, can it work here? With our local means, it works. All we need some kind of training, and we do it for all our customers to be able to do so. We are fine-tuning our research. I'm expert in biotechnology, plant biotechnology, and so we're focusing on plant production, pretty much like a fish production, tilapia and catfish. That's what we produce in different ponds. Now, the demand is that we send in shorter cycle, and so fish is sold because we have the demand. The vegetables, we produce it at home, and they come and buy our tomatoes and mangoes, etc. Now, when it comes to quality, it's as a result of our expertise, so you don't have to worry. People know us in Lome already. And so we have our scientific articles that are published everywhere. Now, second question, can you kindly repeat? Now, the price of the kit. Yeah, we have personalized kits. For instance, for a 10 square meter kit with tilapia that will produce 15 kilos, plant production 35 kilos, it's sold 500 euros. It can change because there are families that will tell you, well, they have a very small 1 square meter pond. Depending on the demand, we do it. Now, it's fit for purpose kit that we sell to our customers.
Lots of information. What is the maintenance that requires, and
Vous avez besoin?
you'll need to provide?
Do you need the headset?
Tell me a little bit more about that sustainability model.
Yeah, you need a headset. when it comes to kit maintenance, we do have our 40 square meter kits. We produce tilapia and catfish. We have a plant production in basins. The fish water will feed the plants, and this purifies water coming back to the pond. And so there are that system between the two systems. These are the pillars. Thanks to this, we have the green and the blue world side by side. We didn't get that. We have the biological and mechanical filter. Now the filtered water comes back to the fish. Now what is wonderful for the families in urban area, you don't have time to farm. All you have to do is to feed the fish and go. It's well adapted to our daily life in urban areas. Thanks a lot. Put your hands together. A resounding applause for our sister. Quite an interesting, important information for candidates and also for those following remotely. A majority of the jury members are also investors, so you have to do whatever possible to convince them. Now we're back to Kenya. Next on my list is the presenter of Waju project, a code from Kenya. Come to stage.
Thank you very much. Coming after the doctor, I feel like my hair wants to grow. My name is Don Okoth. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Wavu. Did you know that Africa imports 1.6 billion worth of fish annually, according to UNDP statistics? Yet, our fish farmers are not supported. They have limited access to working capital, lack of insurance, and fragmented supply chain. And it's for that reason we set up Wavu, to connect fish farmers with quality inputs and aggregate their demand at the end. Let me paint a picture. You're a fish farmer here at Lome. You're looking for quality feeds. Through our platform, our WhatsApp platform, you're able to go in and order your fish feeds, and automatically you get your feeds in your doorsteps. Of course, we embedded finance, we've embedded insurance into the platform. And better still, at the end of 6 or 7 months, we provide you with a market for your output. In East Africa alone, we have over 87% demand gap. And Wavu wants to bridge that gap. What we have right now is over 1,200 fish farmers. We have the technology and we have the team. The team is comprised of Lorna, our COO, 8 years experience in aquaculture, an expert. We have Vincent, who is our breed and hatch expert. We have Chris, who leads our tech and product. We have Steve, who is our head of sales and worked for companies like Jumia and Textbook Center and is an e-commerce expert. And myself, Don, a second-time founder with over 14 years experience in raising capital and doing startups and scale-up. We've got some solid traction. For the last 13 months, we've grown our revenue from $11,000 to $26,000, representing a 45% increase, while maintaining a 40% margin. The cost of acquiring our fish farmers sits at $3. We are still computing the lifetime value, given that the fish production cycle is anywhere between 6 and 7 months. Oh, we have a huge market. I think that's one theme that will come out. We have a TAM, a total addressable market of 1.89 billion. We have a service attainable market of $250 million, and our goal is to acquire 1% of that in the next 36 months. For us to do that, we are seeking partnership with financiers, insurance companies, and quality feed manufacturers. We are also raising $150,000 that will help us with sales and marketing, the team, the technology, and working capital requirements. Please join me at wavu.blue so that we can empower our fish farmers to do more, to earn more as we eradicate hunger in Africa. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
I'll go first this time around. So basically, we're disintermediating, providing solutions to fishermen, and where are you getting your margin here? Why are they buying to you and not buying to their usual customers, suppliers, and then customers?
So currently we are partnering with big manufacturers, and with the 1,200 fish farmers, we're able to aggregate that whole demand, both on the supply and on the demand side, and that gives us very good negotiating powers with feed manufacturers like Unga, and then we can be able to make some margin. But also we are making margins on the aggregation side for selling, providing the market also. So that's why our margin is at about 40%.
Your margin, but how cheaper it is for the fishermen?
So for the fishermen, what we've done is that with that we're able to just maintain the same price they get it locally. But what we also do that's very important for them is just ensuring that they have that, that market at the end, because that's where the challenge has been.
Okay, thank you very much. My question will be, do you define yourself as a technology company or like an aggregator? Do you have like warehouses, or you're doing both of it?
So our model is very asset light. Our goal is to, we give the farmers WhatsApp, which is very easy for them to use. We've embedded logistics and also payments. Now with that, we're able now to, do now aggregation. And last mile can be very expensive. So what we've done is that we have key aggregation centers. And if the farmers are willing also to pay, then we can also do a doorstep delivery. But ideally, it's just to do that connection through WhatsApp technology.
And a question related to your environmental impact. Do you manage and foresee some environmental impact about your activity or within the value chain?
We try to do that. Right now, what you're working on is how do we measure that impact environmentally. But one of the ways that by ability to consolidate all the feed manufacturers, I believe that one helps us with, carbon credit, just instead of each truck, each farmer ordering one consignment, we're able to aggregate all that in one truck and deliver it last mile to the different farmers. I think that helps with the environment a bit.
Thank you. And have you secured already some financial partner to support your growth?
Actually, that's why I'm here. The goal, we've been bootstrapping, and we've bootstrapped up to $50,000. But we believe that once we also create partnership with the different financiers. For example, aquaculture insurance is something very new in Africa. We will love to work with companies that can do that, even in other regions. I know we've been trying to work on that, but we're trying to really seek those partnerships.
Okay, thank you so much, Wavu.blue. That was a great presentation. Jury, thank you so much. So all too soon, we've come to the end of the first pitching session. Come on, let's give it up for the jury and also for the pitchers. High energy. Come on, let's give it up for the
plus
jury.
d'énergie dans les ovations.
We have more energy. Once again, we want to thank our first candidate and the members of the jury as well. A big thanks to the members of the jury and candidates that have helped us to understand their projects. So we will go for lunch break and come back at 2. So, before.
Now, can we have the QR code on the screen? This is where you take your phone, you scan the QR code, and you vote for your favorite picture. You have just 10 minutes to do so, and your time starts now. So vote for your favorite picture. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
Autant pour moi.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. If you need access to the Wi-Fi is Blue Invest, and the password is Blue Invest 2025.
C'était en effet une étape importante. Le QR code va disparaître juste après.
The QR code will disappear after some times. To vote for your candidate, the favorite candidate, among the first 4 pages, especially during this first section of the pitch project, before well qualified members of the jury. Thank you very much for those who are having their solutions, especially the who presented this morning. And it has to do with the role of an entrepreneur finding solutions to identify the problem on the field.
I believe the QR code will be there for some time, but we still need to eat. How many of us are hungry? Oh, if you're not hungry, you can continue. Okay. Do we continue? Okay, it's time for lunch. So when you look behind your card, you find a pink sheet. So that's your ticket for lunch. So we'll move straight to the back.
Exactement, pour tous ceux qui ont donc leur...
For all those that have their badge, behind it you see the name of the badge, where you see the name of the restaurant where you are going to have your lunch. So is in front of you at the back of this hall. Then when you get to the entrance, you present your ticket and you go for your lunch. Thank you. We come back at 2 p.m. Once again, we want to thank you and to give a round of applause for our members of the jury. Thank you, Andre, and those for European investment.